If you had no past and the rules of this world no longer applied, what would you create? Welcome to Creating Beyond Reality, where your business is your life is your business, and you are the valuable product. The world is changing, my friends, and ease, joy, and glory are available more than ever before. My name is Heather Nichols, and I am so happy you're here. Hey, welcome to Creating Beyond Reality podcast. Episode number, I don't even know what episode number this is, but we are doing a cocktail chat, and the topic is getting off of Access Island. So I'm so glad that you guys are all here. I'm so grateful for all of you and everything that you're doing and being in the world. And so you might be going, what on earth is Access Island? Access Island is I think, a very brilliant phrase that my friend David Kubas coined, that basically is where if you have an access consciousness business, which a lot of people do, and if you don't, this will still be relevant to you. So, don't hit stop quite yet. But it's basically Access Island, or any sort of like island situation in your business, is where it's like your circle of where you hang out, your sphere of influence, your like where you go, like your comfort level with like how you show up in the world, and also really like where you market your business, where you invite people to what it is that you're doing, where you go for these things. And everybody has their little zone, that has created something for you in your business. And sometimes going beyond that is sort of like, how the hell do I do that? Where do I go? What do I do? So I want to talk about that today. And the Access Island thing, I love this phrase because David started, he coined this phrase from just the awareness of there's something that happens where people who have access consciousness businesses tend to be pretty active on Facebook. Facebook is a big place for people that do access, which is amazing. I love so much Facebook, and I get to play with people like you. Some of you I've met, some of you I haven't. Some of you I knew on Facebook for a long time, and then I got to meet you in person. There are people that I've like totally just fallen in total adoration with on Facebook, connecting over the years, and then actually got to meet you, squeeze you, play with you, have drinks with you, whatever, create with you. And that is, I think, just such a gift of social media and Facebook and, everything that we're up to here. And it can also feel like Access Island, where, you have a class and you post it on Facebook and you put it in all the groups and you invite everybody to your Facebook event, and maybe you do a little Instagram, maybe you do a little YouTube, maybe you do a little this, that, the other thing. But this sense that a lot of people have of like, that we're all kind of inviting each other to the same thing, and everybody's inviting the same people to their classes. And, I get invitations all the time for people, across the world for me to come to their bars class, Access Bars, which is a one-day class, if you don't know what it is. So really it's like, in a way there becomes this sense and this sort of moment of feeling like I'm speaking to the choir, I'm preaching to the choir, as they say. I'm actually speaking to the people who already know these tools, have these conversations. And there can absolutely be a huge gift and a contribution that we can be to each other in what we're inviting people to. Because one of the things that I love about Access Consciousness is that we actually get to get very creative with it. And, there's some, sort of rules or whatever you want to call it about, what you can create when you're a bars facilitator, when you're a certified facilitator. So, what's sort of allowed in terms of what you're allowed to facilitate. But within that, there's a lot of room for creativity, which I love. And so there's a lot of beauty that we can contribute to each other in that way. And here's the thing, the world needs us. The world needs you. The world, and it's not about access. It's like whatever you do, whatever your gift is, whatever you're sharing with the world, it's going to make the world a better place. So let's get you out there more. Let's get you into the world more. beyond the sphere, the comfort zone and the sphere of influence that you sort of move in, and into this other, like a much greater space that includes that sphere, that includes the access island, but also really goes beyond that and includes other people and other places and all of that. Now, I'm not a social media expert. This isn't going to be a social media training or even really a marketing conversation, and yet we will talk about that too. But I want to look at the big picture of all of that and the energetics of it and what it requires for you to choose and be. To me, it's always goes back to what are you willing to be? What are you not willing to be? To actually put yourself out into the world more, to step out into the world, to have the courage to go, hey, I do something that's really different, really, really different, and I'd like to invite you to come and try it. I'd like to invite you to come and play with it. And then, where do you go? Where, who do you talk to? How do you get out into the world? And we will talk about that as well. And if you guys have questions, if you guys who are on here live with me on Facebook, if you have questions, please feel free to type them in the comments. I will address them if it reads in the context of the conversation. And we can just play, because I'm happy for this to be interactive. I'm so happy that you guys are here, and it's fun to record these podcasts on Facebook Live. So, sippy break. This cocktail is so good. I really wish I could share it with all of you. Hey. Bring it in here and do it in front of me, and then, okay? You're going to have to coordinate, though, because you're not going to be able to, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I want to start first with what I would actually like to start with is the invitation to every single one of you listening now and in the future. Will you please acknowledge the gift that you be? Because none of this actually, like talking about social media, talking about marketing, talking about all this stuff, like it's not going to go anywhere. You won't actually choose it if you're not actually willing to start with what I get, for me, is always the most critical, kind of most important, shall we say, place, which is the acknowledgement of the gift that you be, the difference that you be, and the gift that you have to bring to the world. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you are an access consciousness bars facilitator, certified facilitator, practitioner, or a lawyer or an accountant or an investment person or a house cleaner or whatever. So it doesn't matter what it is, because I always say this, like, you can sell vacuum cleaners and change the world doing it. It's how you bring yourself to the world, how you show up with other people as the kindness that you be and as the presence that you can be if you choose to, and like how you actually interact with people that contributes to them and you can change somebody's life with the tiniest little interaction that seems like nothing to you, but that is can be hugely impactful in somebody's world. We just went to we did Desiree Dumond and I did and a couple other people. We did an expo in Denver a few weeks ago, and it was so amazing to have these people come, and they were having their bars run. Bars, if you don't know what it is, it's a hands-on modality that basically totally relaxes your brain and deletes your monkey mind. And it's just holding these points on the head. And we had these people come and lay down on the table for 10 minutes, and we would run their bars and we'd have a conversation with them. And so many people got up off the table and they were like, "You just changed my whole life." That was amazing. That was such a gift. It was such a gift. And it was such a gift to me and to Desiree and to the people there. It was really, really cool. Juliet, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly, but thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Glad you found me and us and this. But we wouldn't have been able to do that we had to go and do this expo and choose the expo and all that kind of stuff, but we wouldn't have been able to do it if we weren't really clear, hey, this stuff is a gift. Like the stuff that we do, this stuff that we offer the world, in this case, the bars, we were doing some Symphony of Possibilities sessions. We were selling access books. We were just basically having access conversations with people. You need to go in the other room if you're going to talk on the phone. Had we not valued not only the tools that we were offering, but also what we be, just like, hey, I don't have the answers, because here's the thing, you guys, to acknowledge the gift that you be, you don't have to have the answers. In fact, please don't have the answers. Nobody ever does. There are no answers. There's just questions. So you're off the hook. If you're willing to be, you're off the hook for ever having to have the answers. All you have to have is questions and a presence with people and a willingness to be with people, and just to be with them and just to be. Like, you don't even have to say a word a lot of the times. It's just, hi, I care about you. I care about you maybe in ways that a lot of people haven't. I care about you in ways that you may not even care about you. And I'm here to contribute to you. How can I make somebody's life better? How can I make people's lives better with every interaction that I have? And when you're willing to just be that and be like, I'm not perfect. I don't have the answers. I don't know, but I do care. Then a whole lot can show up. And so Francis had asked, how do you give in to the uniqueness that you be? How do you not imitate what you love? So this is sort of speaks to that. But please recognize and acknowledge why, whatever it is that you do for your business, why are you doing it in the first place? So what is it that, what is it that inspired you to create this in the first place? So I am speaking, somewhat specifically in this conversation to people who do have access consciousness businesses. So what is it about the tools? What changed for you in your life? How did your life change? What changed? And how can you, what can you acknowledge about what's changed for you and the tools that you have and use and play with and offer? Maybe you run bars, or you do bars classes, or you do, other classes. What has that contributed to you? And why are you doing it? What is it that you are bringing to the world, and what would you like to see in the world as the change? Because when we can be that, and when we can be present with that, there's such a beauty of contribution that we be. And that's like where you really don't have to get it right. You don't have to have any answers. I mean, here I am, I'm talking about this, like expanding your reach with your business. And, it's also something that I'm doing more of myself all the time. So it's also a demand that I have for me. So it's sort of like, hey, let's have this conversation together as an adventure of exploration of what's possible with this. I don't have the answers, and there's things that I know about social media, and there's, things that I've done in my business to grow my business. But it's if you don't have this piece intact of, hey, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. This is the future I'd like to create. And this is what I be that is different. This is what I be that is different. And it's not about separating yourself or, keeping yourself, like making yourself superior to other people. It's not about any of that. It's actually just the uniqueness of you. Like, how does your caring show up in the world? How do you like to interact with people? What do you like to do, and how do you like to play with people? Teteos? Okay. I don't have any way of getting a hold of you, though. Can you please wait until I'm done?
It's fine. Just text Mateo or text.
Okay, I need you to wait until I'm done. Hold on, you guys. Sorry. I need you to wait till I'm done. Okay.
What the? I'm so bored.
So Business done where? Business done everywhere. And I need to turn this on, do not disturb. And okay, so sorry about that. I got a phone call, I got a kid. Hey, life happens. So this isn't about, and case in point, like it's not about getting it perfect. Here I am recording my podcast and like my phone's ringing, my kid's interrupting me. He's, slamming around in the kitchen and he's, and it's just like, okay, here we are. This is how things happen. We all have a life, right? So it's not, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. But what I do invite you to do, and what I do invite you to be, is the acknowledgement of you and the difference that you be. The difference that you be. When you are willing to acknowledge that and be present with you, and be so present with you in terms of what it is that, how you care for people, how you show up in the world, what you have to offer, the uniqueness that you have. Because it may be like, maybe you had your bars run and you had severe pain in your body and it went away. Or maybe you had severe anxiety, or you had, like for me, I had a lot of stuff going on in my parenting world and with my body, and it changed. And so I have this unique awareness of what's possible based on that wasn't available to me, like that these tools have changed. And so, and we're all sharing, if you're doing access consciousness, like we're all sharing the same tools, but we're sharing them in a really different way. And so I want to invite you to really acknowledge that and start to look at that and start to explore that. And then be willing to actually have the courage to put yourself out there. So this is sort of like number 2. Have the courage to put yourself out, whatever it is that you're doing. And again, it can be access, it can be other things. Have the courage to put yourself out there into the world and to go, hi, here I am. I don't totally know everything. I don't have the answers. I don't have any answers, actually. I have questions. And you might think I'm totally weird. You might think I'm a total freak. But you know what? Here I am. And if I can contribute to you, great. And if I can't, that's okay. I'm here. And would you like to play? I'm here. Would you like to play? And when you are willing to have that level of vulnerability, that level of courage, that level of being present with yourself, and actually, Jaden, go in the other room. I need to drink more of my cocktail. When you are willing to have that level of just like, I just desire to contribute. And you might think I'm totally crazy and totally weird and a total whack job, and that's okay. And you can pass me by. And if you do actually desire to play, I have something to offer. Here it is. There's a level of vulnerability and courage that I think is one of the things that is oftentimes missing when there are people who, like, when you want to stay on Access Island, you're like, let me just keep talking to the same people in the same groups, in the same realm, in the same world about the same things. There's a safety zone there. Whether you do access or not, again, it's like whatever your zone is, right? There's a safety zone there of, I won't be judged because at least these people have similar experiences, similar tools. Like there's this thing that we've been talking about in Access lately called stratifications, where it's this like sphere of what you will and will not allow, this sphere of sort of like what you will and won't be, that where you actually really get to, like it's the sum total of kind of what you'll allow into your world, what you'll choose, the energies that you'll be, the energies that you'll reject, things like that. And we have stratifications based on our families and all of that, but I dare say that that exists with this as well, where if you're keeping yourself in the same little safe world it's like there's this stratification of, hey, we all have these tools, we all know what bars is, we all, have these, we have these acronyms, WEIP, what else is possible, that kind of thing. And let me just say, like, that can be, I see this a lot. I'm just going to say, side note, I see this a lot on Facebook. People putting on their profiles where everybody that they're friends with can see acronyms, clearing statements. Please be aware of what that creates, because it actually will ostracize people. Like, it actually excludes people from your world if you're posting clearings and you're posting acronyms that people don't know what they are, or you're posting weird clearings that people don't understand. Please be aware of that, because it will actually push people out of your world rather than invite them in. Speak to everybody. When you are speaking, when you are posting, when you are engaging, speak to everybody. And this is where you have to have that level of courage to actually be so vulnerable as to be totally you, and to be willing to be seen as that. Samantha said, I've just opened up to a whole new demographic. It was so expansive. Cool. Now I will invite you. That's awesome. Now what else is possible? Keep going, Samantha, because guys, here's the thing. You don't, having a niche, whatever with a niche, a niche is so limiting. It's such a contraction of your world, and thinking that you have to speak to some certain audience because that's who's listening to you right now. Forget the niche. Be everything. Speak to everybody. And not everybody's going to want to hear you. That's fine. They will weed themselves out. But if you have the vulnerability and you have the courage to go, hey, I have this weird stuff that might help you. People can say no or yes, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they say no or yes, or you're crazy, or you're psycho, or I'm going to block you, or whatever. It doesn't matter, because you have you. Yes, Alvina, I'm doing some telecalls on this, and I don't know, next week or something, October 5th. So we will dive into this. You can come and ask questions, and we can talk about your specific business. So I want to really invite you guys to get vulnerable with the world. Because whatever it is that you know, whatever it is that you be, whatever it is that you're doing in your business, whether it's access or not, it's a gift. If you don't acknowledge that, nobody will. If you're not willing to get courageous and get vulnerable, then there's a lot of people out there that won't actually know that what you have to offer is available. Now, I look at this and I'm like, wow, how did I find out about access consciousness in the bars? It was actually through Facebook, through a beautiful lady named Mary Menger, who's been around for a long time. And she was a friend of mine, and she was posting things about the bars, and I was like, what the hell is this thing? I got to do it. And I did it, and I loved it, and it changed my life. I'm so glad that I did it. And actually today I'm doing a set of energy pulls right now on business as receiving. And we were talking about this because a lot of times we don't it's like we don't want to, somebody was asking, how do you put yourself out into the world without being salesy? Well, you just do. You share your enthusiasm about what it is that you do. You share your enthusiasm about what you have available. You share the gift of whatever it is that you're offering. And if you do that with no point of view, and you're like, hey, come play, people can choose it or not. But a lot of people sort of hedge against the judgment of people going, oh, you're money hungry. You're marketing and promoting because you're money hungry. And it's like, who cares? I'm like, if you're holding yourself back with the marketing and the promotion and the invitation of your business because you don't want people to think that you're money hungry, then you're refusing a whole slew of judgments that could actually contribute to your money flows. By the way, every judgment that you receive increases your bank account by $5,000 this year, and every judgment that you refuse decreases it by 10. So $10,000. So the more judgments you're willing to receive, the more you actually, it creates a greater receiving in your world. And so please just know this, like, be willing to ruffle feathers, be willing to piss people off, be willing to elicit judgments with what it is that you're doing and how you're sharing. Because, I mean, I can't even tell you how many people judge the crap out of me. And I've had my moments with it over the years, but I've been accused of being money hungry so many times. And you know what? I don't care. Yes, I love money. Actually, I love money. I love making money. I have a lot of fun making money. And I also love changing the world. And I get to do both. You know, I get to do both. And I get to have fun and I get to be happy. So if you judge me for making money, if you judge me for creating a lot of money, oh well. I get to be happy. I get to have fun. I get to have money. I get to change the world. So would I hold myself back for people's judgments of that? No. Do you? And if you do, let's change it. Let's change it. Be willing to just fly in the face of those types of judgments and go, you know what I have to offer. See, for me, what I have to offer is way too important to hold it back because I don't want to be judged for being money hungry. What I have to offer is way too life-changing, way too valuable, way too, like, to me, it's actually the most valuable commodity on planet Earth is consciousness. And the tools that I know and I use to create my life and to change everything, to heal my own body and world and life and create my business and create my family and parent my children and be able to talk to people every day who also are changing their lives and creating more and discovering that they can create whatever it is that they desire to create. I'm sorry, and I'm actually not sorry. There's nothing that I would give that up for. No, nothing and nobody that I would give that up for. So, but when you have that energy and you be that energy, it's like, hey world, check it out. I got this thing. You might want to try it, you know? And then the world can be like, you're crazy, you're loony, you're money hungry, you're an asshole, you don't know what you're talking about, you have no clue, you're, not an expert, blah, 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 blah. Or I adore you, thank you, whatever it is. They can put you on a pedestal, they can knock you down. It doesn't matter. You keep your eyes on the prize, as we say. You keep your sense of the commitment to what it is that you're offering and the gift of you at the fore of what you're creating. When you have that and you have your own back in that way and you have a presence with yourself in that way, you have the ability to show up in new circles, new stratifications, new spheres of influence, new social media, platforms, new groups, new, in-person platforms, new conversations on the airplane or whatever, new places and spaces with new people where you have your back to such a degree that you're willing to have a level of vulnerability of, hey, I got this thing. Would you like to try it? Would you like to play? And it doesn't matter how people respond to you. So please get that you are far greater of a gift than you think you are. You are far greater of a gift than you think you are. And what you have to offer, whether it's vacuum cleaners or cars or legal services or, graphic design or bars classes or bars sessions or foundation classes, whatever it is, it has you woven through it. You're part of the package and you bring a unique gift to the world through what it is that you do. Now, are you willing to go beyond Access Island or go beyond the sphere of influence, your comfy zone of your peeps, and really put yourself out there in a new way. I wrote an article recently for Forbes magazine, and I was like, Forbes wants me? Okay, let's see. Let's check this out. Let's see what happens with this, I've written a lot of articles actually for big publications, Mind, Body, Green, Daily Urbanista, all kinds of different publications that are have a huge reach. And in all of them I've been me. And I've offered the tools that I have that I used to think were so weird and kind of too weird for the world. But I got over it because I want the world to have this stuff. Like this stuff that I do, it's changed every aspect of my life 1,000,000-fold. And it's changed every aspect of the people's lives that I work with 1,000,000-fold. Book when? Am I writing a book? Yes, I'm writing a book. I did write a book, actually. Nobody knows about it. It's a poetry book. It's called A Wise Man Once Said, Shut Up. A Poetic Invitation to Being. It's on Amazon. It's on the Access website. So it's funny, I don't tell anybody about it because I'm retarded, but I am writing another book now. But I wrote this article for Forbes, and I actually really wove the tools of Access into it. I didn't talk about Access consciousness. I don't think I said energy. But I translated, and I do have a capacity for that. Not everybody does, and this is where you can reach out to other people and get help, get assistance. But I translated it into the language of what this reality could hear. And it was a really awesome article. Because here's the thing, you guys. And in this article, it was like a lot of my articles are actually about, hey guys, like take care of yourselves. The sort of underlying message in business, especially, is, hey, like, it's okay. Take care of you, and your business will actually grow even more if you do. If you're willing to be so courageous to have a reality where the care for you is, front and center and part of what you're doing in the world, then your business can grow dynamically in ways that you can't even imagine, which is one of my favorite conversations is, hey, what if you could actually work less and earn more and have more of you and more joy and more living and greater contribution to the world, not working 24 hours a day like everybody else does. So that's to me, that's one of my favorite kind of overarching business conversations. And the world fucking needs it. Good Lord, especially people that read Forbes and, these other publications. It's like, that's required. I'm like, the bodies on the planet talk to me all the time. And I'm like, I'll be the voice. I'll be the voice of the bodies on the planet. Hey, everybody. Hold on a second, you have a body. You could even have fun with it if you wanted to. That's a story for another time. But hey, you could actually maybe honor it occasionally. Maybe, this is why I do the cocktail chats. Like these drinks, these little creations, they're so fun. It's not about getting drunk or whatever, partying. It's like, this is so delicious. This is such a yummy little concoction that I love, and my body has a great time playing. I like playing with what we can create for our bodies. So, side note, but there's a lot of things out there that people don't realize that they can choose. And if you are in this conversation in any way, something about that. What would the world be like if we worked less and made more money? What would the world be like if we had joy with our bodies? What would the world be like if people knew they could create anything? What would the world be like if people could relax, if people could have their bars run, if people could have their monkey mind deleted, if people's brains could relax, if people could have more ease with everything that they do in their relationships, with their parenting, good Lord, like this world is so needing what all of us have to offer. We can contribute to each other, but please, share it with the world. So what can you do? Let's talk about the action, because we've really played mostly with the energetics of this, but let's really talk about the action here. The action piece of this. which really is, okay, where would you like to go? Who would you like to talk to? This is a question I love to ask. Where can I go and who can I talk to today? Hi, Christine. To expand my business right away. And you just ask it, and you don't wait for an answer, and you don't look for an answer, and you don't try to figure it out. You just, where can I go? Who can I talk to today to expand my business right away? And let the universe show you. Let the universe show you. And just see where you go. See who you talk to. Be willing to open your mouth when you would normally keep it closed. And sometimes you want to close your mouth when you'd be willing to normally open it. But that's a different conversation. But be willing to talk to people when you normally wouldn't. I've been challenging myself to do this a lot lately on planes. I've had some amazing conversations on airplanes lately with really phenomenal people. Of just, people who were like, well, I had this business idea. And I'm like, oh my God, go for it. Do it, please, or whatever. Like just so many conversations with people that I've been asking to talk to people and talk to people, not digga, typey, social media, which of course that can be great too, but actually having conversations with people. And so whether that's a phone call or striking up a conversation with somebody on a plane, on a train, on a bus, on a whatever, maybe you just, even if you do have a list or you do have a social media presence, even just going, hey, I'm here, I'm going to go on this Zoom right now and you're invited to come on and talk to me, or hey, does anybody want to have a 10-minute conversation? Sign up here. Or, whatever it is, even asking people, hey, do you know anybody who might be looking for what it is that I have to offer? Do you know anybody who might benefit from the bars? Do you know anybody who might benefit from blah, 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 whatever it is that you do? Start seeking out people, new people. Now, I will say, I'm going to sing the praises of the expo world. It was something that I really did not enjoy, didn't have fun with. Well, I had a point of view that I wouldn't enjoy it because I hadn't ever done it. I had been to expos as a participant, but not as a vendor. And when I went to this one in Denver, this lovely facilitator of Access invited me and Desiree to come and be alongside her. And I was like, you know what? I've been asking for this, so I need to fucking do this. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to. And I'm going to, pay for the damn thing and show up. I'm going to have my stuff ready. I'm going to have my materials printed. I'm going to do the, what needs to go into it to make it happen, which was a fair amount of, organization and all that. And I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to people all weekend long. And if it's not fun, it's not fun. I am going to go talk to people that I've never talked to before. And it was such a gift. It was such a gift. And I actually had so much fun. I had such a good time. We were talking to people all weekend, 3 days straight, full on talking to people, inviting them. And there were people that were like, this is weird, it's crazy. There were people that were like, this is life-changing. It was amazing. It was such a gift. So I highly recommend that you go to expos and you talk to people. You talk to people and you interact and you engage and you play and you do that. Get yourself out there. And when you do, take your stuff with you. Take all your printed materials. Get in front of people and talk to people. Now we can also talk about, okay, what are you doing on Instagram? What are you doing on LinkedIn? Are you on YouTube? What are you doing with social media? Are you in other Facebook groups? All of that stuff. I'm not going to go there right now. And I do have a telecall coming up, a 3-part telecall called Taking Your Access Business into the World. And we are going to dive more into all of this, and where I really invite you to bring your own questions and all of that, so we can look at your business, play with ideas, bouncing things around, and really creating together something different. Because for me, I'm like, let's get off of this little island that we're on here, guys, in Facebook world. Let's get off Access Island. Let's go out into the world. Let's talk to people. Let's invite people. Let's pull people in. Let's, connect each other to each other. I mean, you might know people in Colorado. I might know people in wherever you live. Let's contribute to each other with this and expand this and explode this even more. So I think that's it for right now. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I always am like right on the dot for an hour. Thank you so much for being here. I do have some really amazing stuff coming up. I have this call, Taking Your Access Business into the World. That starts October 5th. It's a 3-part telecall, and we're going to really dive in. It's a Zoom call. There's going to be recordings. I'm also doing energy pulls starting in the middle of October called Multiple Streams of Receiving, 30 Days of Catalytic Creation. So we're actually going to be really playing with receiving and creating multiple streams of income on those energy pulls. And if you want to do both of them together, we have a package that you can do where you take, I think you save about $75 on the two. It's $350 for both. If you go to heathernichols.com/ what is it called? Revenue Stream Creation Fest. Revenue Stream Creation Fest. If you go to that link, it'll show you both of the calls. So, and you just go to my homepage on my website, heathernichols.com, and it'll show you everything. I'm also doing a call on this Sunday, so in a few days, 3 days, called Creating with the Universe. And this is sort of more the energetics of creation. A lot of stuff that I was playing with in the Maestro class recently that I did last week, and really playing with like some dynamic new tools that I have been playing with that have been exploding and exponentializing my creations into the world in a really cool way. So there's 3 really cool things happening. There's a Business Done Different class in India at the end or beginning of November. Deep dive into more of this. It's all on my website, heathernichols.com. And I invite you to come and play and really just lower your barriers. Get how brilliant you are. Get how brilliant everything that you offer is. And go out into the world and share it, please. No matter how vulnerable you have to be, no matter how much courage it takes, no matter how many things you have to do that you don't think you want to do it, please. The world is waiting for you. The world is ready for you. And if you'd like more and you have questions and you want to chat and you want to deep dive into this, come and play on the calls coming up and very shortly. So thanks everybody for being here. I'm super grateful for you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for yet another epic conversation. I hope you have a most phenomenal week, and I look forward to being with you again next time. To stay in the loop for future shows, make sure you like and follow our Creating Beyond Reality Facebook page, as well as sign up for our newsletter at heathernichols.com/podcast. See you next time.